LEGO Pokemon is finally here, but are these sets going to be worth our money, especially for the pieces and the fact it is LEGO with a licensed partner? Let's check it out, let's get bricking it, let's catch some Pokemon. Welcome back, guys. So today we're talking about the 3 Pokemon sets that have just been announced and are already up for pre-order, coming out the end of February. We're going to check out each set, what it looks like, what it comes with, price points, whether it's worth looking into or buying at all. If you're a Pokemon fan especially, this is worth paying attention to because there's a bit of a difference in pricing here. We'll get into that later. Nostalgic wise, they look pretty cool, but let's have a look at them one by one. And also we're going to have a look at a couple of extra kind of special things I brought out, a gift with purchase and an insiders exclusive. So let's get into them. Dun, 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 dun. So this is obviously a huge moment for both LEGO and Pokemon fans, and LEGO Pokemon fans, obviously, as a new genre now. After years of Mega holding the license, it's finally come into the LEGO form, and it's going to be really interesting to see how these sell. There's obviously loads and loads of Pokemon fans out there, people of my era. I remember being 11, 12 years old, coming home watching the TV programme when they were doing the Indigo League and everything, and the Kanto region before the new ones came out. And it was just awesome. The whole thing was just fantastic. Loved it. Got the cards, got the figures. In terms of LEGO-wise, nothing came out for years. And then we obviously had MEGA. Now, MEGA held the license for a long time. LEGO have now got it. And these sets, the only way I can really describe them is they are very LEGO. They're LEGO in both detail and quality, but also very LEGO in pricing. As you can imagine, being a licensed partner, it's not cheap, and we are talking a lot more expensive than the Mega Mattel kind of sets that we got before. So we're going to break them down, starting with the smallest and most budget friendly of the 3 that have been announced. Let's get into it. The first set they're releasing is Eevee. This is clearly going to be the entry point for fans, as it's the cheapest, the easiest to afford. It is £54.99, so for that to be the cheapest set so far, you can see where this is going to go. It's clearly going to be an expensive theme. It's 587 pieces, so a nice kind of mid-range size set. Not terrible for the price, I don't think. It's sort of in par with some of the Star Wars ones for around about the 50 quid mark that you get, 50, 60 pounds, so not awful. But I think it looks like it's got 500 pieces in it. It does. If you look at the pictures I'm putting up on screen now, you can see the size of it, the style. It's clearly Eevee. It's a nice little set to have, and if you can't afford the expensive ones, I'm hoping LEGO kind of get the hint when these start coming out and they produce more of this size, because this is going to be an affordable point. If there's certain characters, certain Pokemon you like as a fan, and they release some at this scale and this size and this price, I honestly think they're going to fly off the shelves. Whereas the next 2 we go to in a minute are great, don't get me wrong, they look fantastic, but I honestly think they're not going to sell as well because they're just so expensive. But let's see how Eevee does. Now, Eevee's an interesting one because compared to the Mega sets, you did get a similar one, Mega. I've got it written down here in front of me. For 1,300 pieces, so way over double the piece count, they did one for 50 quid with Mega Blocks, and that was like the moving one that looked really cool. But you could also get a smaller one with about 200 pieces for £12.99, so you can tell the price difference there straight away. I mean, 587 pieces, 55 quid, 50 quid for nearly 1,400 pieces with Mega. It's clearly going to be a difference, and I think this is setting the bar of what we're going to see with the rest of them. In terms of looks wise, it looks very similar to the Mega set that came out. If you go on Google, you'll see them on there. But honestly, I think this is probably the one most people will go for straight away, because if you're not an Eevee hater and you like Eevee, and Eevee's become a lot more popular over the years anyway, I think it's going to be a good one to go for. So let's get on to the next one. Mid-range. I can't believe I'm saying this is mid-range, but the mid-range set of the 3 and the price and what we're looking at. So the middle of the 3 sets is Pikachu. So this is an interesting one because then they're jumping up a massive gap here. We're going up to £179.99 for this set. 2,050 pieces. Take a look at the pictures on screen now. Obviously Pikachu being the big character. I mean, it's a great looking set. It's really cool. I love the lightning bolt base. I love the fact that you can have him posed like he's coming out of the Pokeball. I do think it's great. You can take him off the base, as you can see in some of the pictures. He's a good looking set. He's got a lot of pieces in him, but 180 quid, that's a lot of money. I mean, I know it's 2,000 pieces, but also if you look at these pictures, he always looks up. It doesn't look like you can move his head. If you take him off the stand, he's basically sat with his head kind of you know, and it looks cute if you put him on the floor and he's looking up at you, or you've got a low shelf. But I just think if you can't pose him and it's that many pieces and it's that expensive, is it going to be a set you get bored of? I suppose you would just have him on display for that sort of money. But compared to the Mega set, I mean, there was one pretty much similar size. It only had about 800 pieces in it, but it was 33 quid. And you could pose him. We actually had one of it. He did look a bit chunky for a Pikachu. It was a bit bulky and a bit blocky, and obviously it was quite basic because some of the Mega Block stuff looked a bit plasticky and basic. But it was a good set for your money. I mean, you can't really, you know, sniff at 33 quid for a big Pikachu. It's like this big on you. He was a blocky old thing, quite heavy, used to fall down quite a bit. This one looks great, the stand looks cool, you can obviously take him off, do all that, but it'd be really interesting to see how well he sells. I think because he is Pikachu, he's going to sell well, but I just wish they'd done something where you could move his head, because just that alone could be a big difference between whether someone wants it or not, because otherwise you're kind of stuck to always having him on the stand, always looking up at you from a low level. Anyway, we're sort of already pushing for a wait to sale kind of territory here. So it'll be interesting to see how he sells. Obviously, let me know in the comments what you think of Pikachu. He's obviously the big one to go for here between the three. But hold your horses, guys. Let's get into the super expensive one here. Okay, big set. So this one here, I'm going to put it up on screen now. You have got Blastoise, you have got Charizard, you have got Venusaur. Three massive characters, the original three top evolutions of the three starter Pokemon. This has got 6,838 pieces in it. It's going to be £579.99. Ouch, that is an expensive set. Obviously it's massive, but it also isn't massive at the same time. There's a lot of pieces in it, but if you look at the pictures, you're kind of wondering where a lot of them go. And I think, I agree with something I saw on Brick Fanatics, I think a lot of it will go into the base. And they have made the base clever. Again, check out here the pictures. You can kind of see the base comes apart in three pieces. So you can have a separate bit for Charizard, for Venusaur, for Blastoise. You can also take them off the bases. You can then put them on separately, or you can have them separately doing their thing. Charizard's got a cool thing he slides onto, a bit like the Pikachu one at the top. And the detail is great. I can't take away from the detail. LEGO have done a cracking job on the detail, but they do look a bit small. I mean, Venusaur looks chunky and big, but compared to Venusaur, it makes Blastoise and Charizard look a bit squitty. And I know they're big Pokemon characters, so it kind of looks a little bit off scale. And obviously Venusaur is quite a huge Pokemon, but I just think they've done a little bit the scale wrong here. And also you kind of, for that price point and that piece count, want a bigger Pokemon really. But detail wise, they've knocked out the park. It looks really cool. It'd be a great set to have, but this is clearly one that's going to be for the absolute die-hard collectors that have to have it, that have a disposable budget. You know, it's definitely going to go down that route, because otherwise it's just not affordable really, is it? But let's quickly move on, because I want to quickly show you this. Now this up here is the Kanto region badges. So this is pretty cool. This is a gift with purchase, but only, I didn't realise this at first, only if you buy the big old bad boy set with Blastoise, Venusaur and Charizard in it. It looks cool, 8 badges. There are some stickers on there, which is a bit of a shame, but it's a cool little set. And it would look really good in anyone's collection. It's a shame they're not selling it as a separate set, because it's got, you know, a good piece count in it. It could really sell. I think this alone would fly off the shelves in stores really if they just sold that as a separate set. But again, we're going down that gift with purchase kind of route that they've done in the recent couple of years, where people are going to be desperate for them and really want them. Also, really quickly, just want to mention this as well. This is a Insiders Only set, which is a Pokemon Center. It looks pretty cool. It looks a bit like the newer ones they've done rather than the classic ones from the games. Again, Bricks Fanatics touched on this as well. But it does look pretty cool. Little piece count, looks quite smart. It's obviously a mini build, so it won't really go with any of the other Pokemon things they're releasing. It's not like life size like the badges or anything. But it's quite a smart little thing. And to have as like an Insiders thing where you can redeem your points for it on lego.com. Check it out. Looks pretty smart. So let's just do a little bit of a summary here, guys. Okay, so there's obviously a couple of things to quickly go through on this. So prices are obviously very high here compared to Mega especially. And the problem is, unlike other things like Star Wars, we've actually got something to compare these with. Mega released loads of Pokemon sets over the years. You've only got to Google Mega Pokemon and it comes up with so many different ones. Literally, even some of the obscure ones. There's Diglett sets that pop up and down. There's all sorts of cool things. These are going to have a heck of a fight on their hands to sell. Obviously, there's people out there who just want Lego. I myself included in that. I don't like having some of the cheaper stuff, but we did get the Pikachu one for my son when it came out of Mega Bloks, and he did like it. But I will say that the mega sets were so much more value for money. Obviously, Lego is expensive, and the license fees they've got to pay to their partners are going to go through the roof with this sort of thing. But I just feel like some of these sets are going to be fantastic. Some are going to feel a bit blocky. Some are going to feel like they're way overpriced. Everyone always thinks things are overpriced with Lego anyway, and they're right to, because things have gone a bit crazy with the licensed partners and the prices. But I'm really interested in everyone's thoughts on this, really. I mean, as a hardcore Pokemon collector, is this going to tempt you? As a hardcore Lego collector, is this going to tempt you? Are you going to leave it because you've got Mega sets? Are you going to stick with Mega? Even though they're not sold anymore, you can still get them in a lot of places. Or are we going hardcore down the Lego route here? And are we going to see these on sale fairly soon? Are they going to chunk down? I think personally Lego are going to stick to their guns. You're not going to see them on sale in many places for quite a while. Maybe towards the end of the year, maybe August time, you might see and go down a little bit in some of the retailers. But it'll be really cool to see what happens during the year. Let's see where we go. And in the meantime, please pop some comments on. I'm really interested to know what everyone thinks about these sets, because it's such a big talking point already, and they've only been announced for a few days as a proper release, and they're already on pre-order. So yeah, please get in touch. Let me know. In the meantime, do the classic YouTube things, like, subscribe. I'll see you on the next one, guys. Let's catch them all. I wanna be the very best, like no one ever was. To catch them is my real test. To train them is my call.